and started going towards Delhi. On his way, there were many stories of where people questioned him, asked him spiritual questions, and many people were healed by his presence, by his teachings. And the very fact, the way he talked to people, it was soothing for many. And there's a very beautiful story about a Brahmin who was questioning the legitimacy of this 5-year-old guru. And he said, your name is Harkishan. You kind of think that your name is related to the Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna recited or composed Bhagavad Gita. Can you give me the translation of Bhagavad Gita? And and this was in the presence of all his followers. So Guru Harkishan Ji just saw that there was a very humble servant. He was sitting right there. His name was Chaju Chor. And he pointed a stick towards his head. And this guy was a mute, and he had illiterate person, had no standing in the society. And he pointed his stick to Chaju Chor, who was a low-caste devotee. And this person started explaining Bhagavad Gita instantly. So this Brahman, Lal Chand, who was questioning and thought that he is a very knowledgeable person, how could this 5-year-old teach me anything about spirituality or God? His ego was broken because this Chajuchor started explaining the meanings of Bhagavad Gita. So that was a way of showing that, and the concept which was revealed to the world, that an enlightened soul can be anyone. Anyone can be connected to God, and it has nothing to do with age or stage of life. It has to do with how you are enlightened and how you are connected with God. And once you are connected and enlightened, it does not matter how old you are, or what is your age, and what caste you belong to, or what faith you belong to. God reveals through this person. So then Guru Harkishan Ji came to Delhi, and during his stay, Aurangzeb tried 3 times to come and visit Guru Harkishan, but Guru Harkishan refused to meet him, and he said, "Nain malech ko darshan deun." That means I will never give darshan to this person who is terrorizing and committing such a reign of terror in India. We will continue this story of Guru Harkishan Ji in the next segment of Sikh Perspective. So thank you so much. And if you have any question, please reach out to ggsfusa.com, or you can send an email at ggsfusa@aol.com. Thank you, and we will see you again. Sat Sri Akal. This is Dr. Rajwant Singh from Guru Gobind Singh Foundation. Welcome to Sikh Perspective. Today we will talk about the 3rd pillar of Sikhism, which is Vand Shakna. Now we talked about Nam Japna, that is meditating and contemplating on God's name, or remembering God's presence within your heart and seeing God's presence everywhere. Second is Kirt Karna. One should live by honest means, not exploiting anybody and not be dependent on society or exploit the system to live in a life which is of excess. So living by honest means, comfortably, and be a productive citizen in the society. So you should help in building lives, not just for your own self or your own family, but for others. So that's the 3rd aspect, is Vand Shakna, where you share your blessings with others. Whatever access you have in life, give it away. Give it to people who are suffering, who are underprivileged, either or less fortunate. Their family circumstances may not have allowed them to succeed, or whatever reasons, that you should see that I am blessed by God. I have been given enough. Now how do I give this to others? How do I lift others? So there's a very beautiful hymn by Guru Nanak. He says, "Vich duniya sev kamaye, तांदर गए बैसन पाए, विच दुनिया सेव कमाए, तांदर गए बैसन पाए, कहो नानक बाहां लुडाए, नानक बाहां लुडाए. Guru Nanak says, whatever time you are given to live on this planet, earn by honest means, but also share. Which dunya sev kamaye ta darge baisan paiye. If you want to live closer to God, if you want God to embrace you, you have to help others. You have to do seva, nishkam seva, not keeping some reward, either some monetary reward or spiritual reward that you think that you will be given his seat in the heaven, that's why you should do seva. That is not what Guru Nanak wants. Guru Nanak wants nishkam seva. Do it because it is good to do. Do it because it is a right thing to do, because you have to help others. You have to see every human being as your brother and sister. That is how you connect with God. So these are the two main aspects of Sikhism. One is to connect with God inside, and to connect with God outside is by doing service, by doing seva. So there is another hymn, Seva karat hoye neh kami, Tako hot parapat swami. That those who serve others without keeping any reward in their mind, that is the secret of coming close to God. Tako hot parapat swami. That Swami, the Lord, will be with you if you serve others by thinking that others are part of you. So these are the three main pillars of Sikhism, that seva karna and kirt karna and nam japna. These create a lifestyle by one can be living a very happy, fulfilled, blissful life, and yet connecting with that essence which is enveloping us, which is God. So that's one way to become an enlightened human being, a human being which is full of compassion and full of friendship towards others. So if you have any questions, please contact ggsfusa.com, www.ggsfusa.com, or 202-460-0630. Thank you again, and Sat Sri Akal. Sat Sri Akal. Welcome to Sikh Perspective. This is Dr. Rajwant Singh from Guru Gobind Singh Foundation. Today we will start a series of a discussion that what are the 9 jewels of a spiritual living? What are the 9 jewels one starts acquiring in life while treading towards God, according to Sikh faith? So one of the things which one needs to understand, according to Guru Nanak, is the humility, being humble. Now there's a very beautiful story about Guru Nanak, who always taught this message that if one wants to go towards God, you have to be humble. You have to be not showing yourself too much. So in a way, the story says that there was a rich person who was having a feast, and he had invited all the religious priests and the Brahmins and the kings and his rich friends, and he found out that Guru Nanak is also visiting the village at that time. So he sent out an invitation. But Guru Nanak, on the other hand, was staying with Bhai Lalo. Lalo was a humble carpenter who was living in a very, very humble manner, and he didn't have much money. But Guru Nanak developed a special relationship with Bhai Lalo, and he would stay, and he stayed with him for a long time. So on the other hand, Malik Pago, who was a rich person, when he invited, Guru Nanak first refused, and then he sent messages, and then Guru Nanak decided that, okay, I will come. So, and then the story goes that when Guru Nanak went there, he picked up the roti prepared by Malik Pago's, the feast that they were having, and the roti which Guru Nanak had from Bhai Lalo, and he squeezed, and the roti of Malik Pago brought out a drop of blood, and the roti of Bhai Lalo brought out a drop of milk. Now, this story has many, many messages. It can be understood in many different ways. But one of the messages which I would like to relate in today's discussion is of humility, of being humble in the presence of God. So Guru Nanak's very famous poetry is often quoted by people who are talking about this subject or this issue. Guru Nanak says, "Neecha andar neech jaat, neech hoon at neech, Nanak tinke sang saath, vaddiyan syon kya rees." That I, the Nanak, would rather stay with the lowly, the people who are rejected by the society, the people who are suppressed by the society, the people who are called the low caste or the untouchables or rejected by the society. I would rather be with them than with the high class, the people who are rich or people who think that they are the masters of the world. I would rather stay with those people who are humble, because that's where God resides. And there's another message that hoye nimana jag raho Nanak nadri par, that if you want to go beyond this world and reach towards God, then you have to live as a humble person in this world. Aapas ko jo jaane neecha, so ganiye sab te ucha. That person who recognizes himself or herself as a humble person, only that person has the potential of becoming a greater person. And there is another quotation. It says, "Pao pagat kar neech sadai, to Nanak mukhantar pai." That those people who practice love and humility and serve others and call themselves as humble people, Guru Nanak says that is the secret of reaching towards God. That is becoming, taking step towards God. So, and then there's another beautiful hymn by Guru Nanak in the morning prayer of Asadivar. It says, "Simal rukh sarai ra, at dirag at much, oye je ave aas kar, jaye nirase kit, fal fikke ful bak bake, kam na ave pat, o mithat neevi nanka, gun changiyan tat, सबको निवे आपको, पर को निवे न कोए, तर तराजू तोलिए, निवे सो गौरा होए." Guru Nanak says that the people who think that they are the smartest people on the planet, or they are the richest people on the planet, he says many people flock to them, thinking that they would get something from them. But he says they are the kinds of those trees, they're tall trees, but do not have the fruit to share. But the humble trees, the smaller trees, may have bigger fruits of love and of healing. So you would rather be a humble tree than a tall tree with no fruits to share. So that is the message of Guru Nanak, is that one must live a humble life. You may have the gifts from God, you may have many blessings of having an influence in life, but still one can practice humility while living comfortably on this planet. So that's the message of Guru Nanak, that is one of the jewels of a spiritual person, of being a humble and full of humility and love towards all around ourselves. Thank you again. This is the first of the series of these 9 jewels discussion. We'll continue next week. If you have any questions, please visit www.ggsfusa.com. Thank you. Sat Sri Akal.